Comment on the video, where are people watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Mondays have never been gentle with me, but the first Monday of April felt engineered for maximum irritation. I'm Lieutenant Cassandra, Cass, Morales, Shift Commander for the Ridge County Police Department's K-9 Division. Weekends usually end with me trading riot gear for gardening gloves, yet that morning the weight in my stomach wasn't paperwork or Captain Arnold Granger's habitual scowl. It was a nagging certainty that somebody, specifically Helena Fairchild, had been treating my property like a valet stand. Helena, tall and platinum blonde, presides over the Windermere Pines Community Council as ruthlessly as a medieval baroness. Her pastel suits clash so violently with reality that I once mistook her for an escaped piñata. Residents whisper, Helena, the way sailors whisper, iceberg. She wields violation notices like throwing daggers and can smell an unsanctioned lawn gnome 3 streets away. My townhouse occupies a corner lot with a 2-car garage facing the cul-de-sac. Because patrol vehicles don't fit standard HOA aesthetic guidelines, Helena's phrase, I park an unmarked sedan inside for appearances. At least, I try to. For 3 consecutive evenings I'd swung into the driveway only to find faint tire tracks where none should be, angled curves wider than my mid-size wheels. First I blamed a delivery driver reversing too far, then teenagers practicing 3-point turns. By Thursday curiosity morphed into suspicion. I mounted a discreet, motion-activated camera above the garage door. The footage ruined my Friday, 9:14 a.m., a metallic blue Ridgeline LX SUV rolled in. The driver, oversized sunglasses, salmon pink blazer, poofy hair, popped out, locked the doors, and sashayed down the street with a crocodile leather tote. Helena Fairchild herself. At 2:57 p.m. She sauntered back, humming, slipped behind the wheel, and backed out as if it were her personal carport. I spent the weekend drafting increasingly pointed notes, good morning. Kindly use your own garage. Is this Ridgeline yours? GPS seems confused. Final notice, unauthorized parking subject to tow. I slid them beneath her lacquered front door, hopeful the escalation might penetrate whatever bubble protected her from common courtesy. Monday proved hope is a fickle ally. Her SUV reappeared exactly on schedule, my final notice still unread on her welcome mat. By lunchtime Captain Granger had already compared my report forms to hieroglyphics, impossible to decipher. Returning to an occupied garage that evening threatened to push me from annoyed to vengeful. I'm sworn to uphold peace, but Windermere's Queen Bee was begging for a lesson in boundaries. Packing peanuts crossed my mind. So did hiring a tow truck and claiming ignorance. Instead, a more professional, but no less satisfying, solution crystallized. Access to highly trained Belgian Malinois is a perk most homeowners lack, and everyone in my unit owed me favors after last month's mandatory certification marathon. First, however, I needed intel, precise timestamps, angles, escape routes. Helena's arrogance offered predictability. Predictability, in law enforcement, is weakness. I brewed a mug of alarming precinct coffee, cued the camera clips, and began charting patterns. By midnight I had a timetable as steady as sunrise, and part 2 of this saga had practically written itself on the back of a donut napkin. Helena's daily choreography played out with the reliability of planetary orbit. Security footage from Monday through Wednesday revealed only minor deviations, a 6-minute delay on trash collection day, a 3-minute early exit presumably triggered by Windermere's weekly Pilates class. Everything else was maddeningly consistent. 7:45 a.m. Garage door opens as I head to precinct. 9:14 a.m. Metallic blue Ridgeline glides in, tailpipe puffing smugly. 14:57 p.m. Ridgeline departs, Helena adjusts hair using rearview mirror, door closes. 17:10 p.m. I return, forced to park on street among sprinkler overspray. Pattern in hand, I phone Sergeant Farouk Khan, head trainer for our K-9 program. Farouk balances stoic discipline with prankster instincts, ideal for my purposes. Me, I have a civilian trespassing problem. Farouk, human or raccoon? Me, type, Helena Fairchild. Breed, HOA tyrant. Behavior, garage nesting. Farouk, I'm listening. We brainstormed possibilities spanning the moral spectrum. Farouk's first draft involved remote-triggered paintball turrets, rejected for property damage risks. Idea 2 featured ultra-high-frequency alarms audible only to small dogs, humorous but ethically gray, Duchess the Pomeranian didn't deserve tinnitus. Idea 3. Deploying 2 of our canine stars, Odin and Titan, for a training exercise, precisely when Helena parked. Harmless, unforgettable, and entirely within departmental policy, public relations demonstrations are encouraged. Paperwork was wafer thin, one simple memo stating, Community Familiarization Drill, Windermere Pines, 1500 hours. Captain Granger signs anything that sounds proactive, especially if he can later brag about neighborhood engagement. I typed, printed, slid it into his overflowing inbox, and within 30 minutes a rubber-stamped approval thudded back onto my desk. Bless bureaucratic speed when it suits me. Next came environmental prep. Thursday evening I pulled my sedan onto the street and cleared the garage floor. I left a pair of bright orange traffic cones just inside, an innocuous visual cue for Odin and Titan to anchor their positions. Above the cones, I mounted camera 2, wider lens, mic hot. Because posterity and probable internal affairs reviews both appreciate high-definition angles. Inside the house, I rehearsed facial expressions in the foyer mirror. Version A, mild surprise, oh. Ms. Fairchild, fancy seeing you in my personal garage. Version B, puzzled innocence, were you directed here by GPS error? Version C, lawful stern, ma'am, step away from the vehicle. I suspected reality would call for version B morphing abruptly into version C. Friday arrived crisp and cloudless. At roll call I briefed Odin and Titan with extra ear scratches, they responded with eager tail slaps against my duty boots. Farouk loaded them into the K9 van, parking 3 houses down behind Mrs. Delacourt's hydrangea fortress. We synchronized watches, 14:55 release time, 5 minutes of K9 chaos before Helena's historical 14:57 departure. Throughout the day my concentration fractured. Reports blurred, suspects' surnames merged, and Captain Granger's bulldog wasp scowl seemed almost pleasant compared with anticipation gnawing my gut. At 14:49 my phone buzzed. Farouk, text, dogs hydrated. Target stretching. Me, cue music. Farouk, eye of the tiger, obviously. 14:55 struck. Farouk's update, front door of your garage opening. Helena inside vehicle. Releasing Odin and Titan, now. A second ellipsis, then, LOL. I muted my desk phone to stifle cackles. 5 seconds later an incoming call. Farouk's voice trembled with suppressed mirth. Farouk, phase 2 successful. Visual suggests impending lawsuit threats but zero physical harm. Me, collateral damage. Farouk, 1 overturned reusable grocery tote. Contents, kale and quinoa. Dogs unimpressed. Helena's afternoon had just been spectacularly derailed, and part 3, the full-color play-by-play, would demand popcorn. Farouk's hastily whispered briefing only teased the spectacle. I needed full sensory immersion, so after shift I swung by the training van parked at the cul-de-sac entrance. Farouk, still chuckling, handed me the bodycam chip and a lukewarm energy drink. Watch the part where she tries to command Titan to sit, he managed between snorts. He just tilts his head like she's speaking Martian. Back home, I carried my laptop to the kitchen island and clicked play. Scene opens, Helena's ridgeline coasts into frame, garage swallowing it whole. She kills the engine, checks her lipstick in the visor mirror, and reaches for the door handle. Enter Odin, sleek, sable, 80 pounds of disciplined enthusiasm, sliding between the cones like a furry torpedo. Titan follows, voice box set to thunder. Their barking echoes off drywall with beautiful acoustics. Helena freezes mid-exit, mouth forming a silent O. Sunglasses slip down her nose. Titan plants his front paws on the ridgeline's running board, tail wagging as if saying, "Welcome to the show." Helena attempts a regal, shoo, gesture. Dogs interpret this as, circle tighter. She retreats, trips on her own stiletto, and descends, rather gracefully, given the circumstances, onto the concrete in a seated sprawl. Farouk's team promptly issues recall commands, Odin and Titan halt, tongues lolling like satisfied pranksters. Corporal Nia Bishop steps in, offering Helena a hand. Bodycam audio captures Helena's breathless outrage. "What kind of barbaric security drill? Do you realize who I am?" Nia responds with honey-smooth politeness, "Yes ma'am, Windermere's council president. Thank you for participating." Helena staggers upright, pink blazer now decorated with a chalky smear. She scans for an audience, a reflex born of chronic performative indignation, but finds only traffic cones and wagging tails. Her next tirade splatters against Nia's calm apologies like water against marble. Eventually she gathers her tote, now hosting errant kale leaves, and storms away, nearly twisting an ankle on the threshold. Footage ends with Odin catching a treat mid-air while Titan executes a flawless down. Professionals, through and through. I saved 2 copies, one encrypted for departmental archives, one for my personal stress relief folder. Ethics demanded I blur Helena's face before any casual sharing. Schadenfreude demanded at least 3 rewatches first. Saturday morning dawned bright and melodramatic. I brewed coffee, waved at neighbors walking schnauzers, and almost missed the ridgeline creeping by at sub-school zone speed. Behind the wheel, Helena gripped 10 and 2, eyes darting from my garage to the K9 van still parked as a deterrent. She accelerated away without stopping. Mission success confirmed. By noon a special meeting notice appeared in community email, urgent WPCC forum, security concerns and dog safety, Monday 1900 hours clubhouse. Drafted, of course, by Helena. My presence was politely requested. Oh, I would attend. With Titan at heel, demonstrating exactly how safe a dog can be when humans respect property lines. Farouk prepped a slideshow, benefits of trained working dogs in suburban settings. Slide 5 featured a still shot, Helena blurred, captioned, "Negative reinforcement of trespass behavior." He promised to keep it hidden unless provoked. We both suspected provocation was inevitable. Sunday evening, I received a voicemail from Captain Granger. His bulldog tone softened by curiosity. "Lieutenant, Little Bird says you conducted a textbook engagement in Windermere Pines. The mayor's office wants a summary. Nice work, but keep it out of the papers." Translation, "Good job, but if Helena sues, you're on your own." Noted. I slept soundly, garage unoccupied, Odin snoring in the next room during a reward sleepover. Monday promised fireworks at the clubhouse, but Part 4 would prove that even HOA tyrants eventually meet parliamentary procedure, and a PowerPoint armed with canine charisma. Residents filled folding chairs beneath faux crystal chandeliers. Someone had brewed decaf that tasted like surrender. Helena sat beside the dais, pristine again in robin egg blue. I arrived in uniform, Titan leashed and wearing his official, community outreach, vest, public relations armor and subtle reminder of Friday's fiasco. Helena opened proceedings with theatrical sighs about rampant insecurity and rogue officers traumatizing civilians. She waved a glossy printout of municipal ordinances like sacred scripture. I remained silent, letting her tirade build altitude and vulnerability. When the floor opened, I strode forward. Titan executed a perfect heel, tail a metronome of calm authority. I cued Farouk's slideshow. The screen lit with statistics, burglary deterrence percentages, child safety programs, therapy visits to schools. Audience heads nodded. Slide 4 displayed 2 huskies cuddling toddlers, softening hearts before the steel. Then came slide 5, Helena blurred, captioned, real-world example, unauthorized garage entry mitigated without injury. Gasps rose. Helena leapt up, defamation. I demand that image removed. Chairperson Eldon Fraser, a mild accountant previously cowed by Helena's volume, adjusted his glasses. Ms. Fairchild, images have been anonymized. No rule broken. I explained our drill in measured tones, emphasizing public safety and educational purpose. I produced the memo Granger had signed, plus footage of Helena ignoring written notices. Eldon audibly whistled at her brazen entrance times. Neighbors murmured resentment. Apparently I wasn't Helena's only victim. Mr. Lockwood's driveway had hosted her ridgeline during last year's garden tour. Eldon proposed a motion: impose fines for repeat parking violations, require written consent for using another resident's property, and install security camera signage at subdivision entrances. Motion seconded by Mrs. Delacourt, hydrangea loyalist. And passed 17-1. Helena's lone dissent flickered to irrelevance. Titan sealed the moment with a polite bark, winning scattered applause. Children approached afterward to pet him, HOA fears melted into selfie requests. Helena exited early, cheeks the color of overripe strawberries, muttering about municipal overreach. Back home I treated Titan to peanut butter biscuits and called Farouk for debrief. We agreed that the mission's public relations afterglow exceeded expectations. Captain Granger emailed one line, City Hall pleased. Coffee on me, maybe real coffee this time. Helena, however, wasn't done. Tuesday morning envelopes appeared on select porches containing cease and desist threats citing emotional distress. Mine bore gold-embossed stationery. I scanned and forwarded them to the city attorney, who replied, no legal footing, let her bluff. I framed Helena's letter for my office wall, right beside a commendation plaque, under the heading Trophies of Thin Skin. With council sanctions in place and legal bluffs neutralized, Helena's influence shrank faster than a discount cashmere sweater in hot wash. Duchess the Pomeranian even switched allegiances. Neighborhood kids discovered the dog preferred belly rubs to posture walks and Helena lacked the patience to refuse. If karma wore fur, its name was Duchess. Yet I sensed a final act brewing. Helena's pride wouldn't let the curtain fall. The annual Windermere Garden Gala loomed, an event she chaired. If she planned retaliation, it would unfold amid pergolas and cucumber sandwiches. Anticipation tingled, Part 5 was waiting behind a curtain of roses. May in Windermere Pines brings an explosion of color, snapdragons along walkways, wisteria spilling over fences, Mrs. Delacourt's hydrangeas weaponized into pom-poms of lavender defiance. The garden gala funded clubhouse repairs and, more crucially, Helena's social capital. This year, ticket sales lagged, fallout from her garage escapade. But she pressed ahead, advertising an afternoon of elegance and civility. I volunteered Titan and Odin for a canine floral sniffing demonstration, marketing it as a pest deterrence showcase, a pretext Captain Granger happily stamped. Farouk prepped the dogs to locate specific essential oil markers hidden in planters, ensuring zero paw damage to prize flora. Gala day dawned fragrant. White tents dotted the central green, string quartet melodies floated through the air like polite butterflies. Helena greeted guests wearing a chartreuse fascinator roughly the size of a satellite dish. She offered me a tight-lipped smile, the diplomatic equivalent of filing nails at one's throat. Demonstration time arrived. Children clustered as Odin sprinted to a rosemary pot, sat, Titan sniffed out lavender. Applause. Helena looked almost impressed, until Duchess slipped her leash, enticed by the treats Farouk used as rewards. The little Pomeranian darted between displays, finally hopping into a massive topiary shaped like a peacock, Helena's commission, naturally. Branches shook, petals flew, gasps cascaded. Odin, ever disciplined, froze on command. Titan, however, interpreted Duchess's squeals as a rescue mission. He bounded forward, nose diving into clipped boxwood. Topiary tail snapped, green foam innards exposed. The audience gasped, then giggled. Helena shrieked, chasing Titan, fascinator tilting like a capsized yacht. I whistled Titan's recall. He emerged clutching Duchess by the scruff, gentle as a valet handling cashmere, depositing her at Helena's feet. The peacock? Defiantly decapitated. Cameras clicked, laughter erupted. Helena blanched yet composed herself for a scalding speech, but Eldon stepped in. Ms. Fairchild, Council Policy Section 8.4, off-leash pets are owner responsibility. He turned to me with a wink. Officer, thank you for averting greater chaos. Helena's cheeks pulsed crimson. She scooped Duchess, retreated toward the refreshment tent, and, spectacular poetic justice, tripped on a sprinkler head. Fascinator soared, landing upside down in the punch bowl. Applause rolled like distant thunder. Post-event, the council voted unanimously to extend dog demonstrations at all future galas and to install communal leash hooks. Helena surrendered gala leadership citing creative burnout. Windermere Pines residents erected a new topiary, shaped like a Malinois wearing a badge, in honor of Titan's heroic diplomacy. Weeks later, Helena listed her house. Real estate agents whispered that prospective buyers balked at rumors of canine security drills and militant hydrangeas. She accepted an offer below market value, moving to a gated community rumored to ban both dogs and security cameras. Fitting exile. On her last day, Helena drove the ridgeline past my open garage, a farewell loop. I raised a mug of genuine, non-precinct coffee. She nodded, a gesture that might have been respect or resignation. Duchess, nose pressed to the window, offered a single yap. Life settled into a pleasant cadence. My sedan reclaimed permanent garage residency. Captain Granger's scowl softened whenever City Hall praised our innovative community outreach. Farouk, ever the schemer, suggested publishing a case study, behavioral modification of recalcitrant neighbors via canine presence. The title needed work, but the concept felt oddly sound. Sometimes at dusk I replay camera 2 footage, the slowed-down instant Helena first sees Odin's lolling grin. It reminds me why I love this job, justice delivered with precision, restraint, and, when appropriate, a side of humor. And when new neighbors ask about HOA regulations, I simply point to the Malinois topiary and say, around here, we believe in healthy boundaries, guarded by very good boys. Then I toss Titan a biscuit, close the garage door, and enjoy the quiet satisfaction of a space rightfully mine.